Hey everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point. And we have some motions in limine from the Northern District of Illinois to jump into tonight. I am going to try something different this time. So instead of doing like an hour and a half long video, which really turns into like 3 hours of work on the back end, because after I record the video, then I have to set up record the audio, then I have to set up everything for the video, and because the files are so big, it takes like an hour for the video to download and save. So several people have reached out to me over probably the past year saying, oh my God, when you do those videos, like an hour and a half long video, it's just too much to digest. Like, can you break, like after you do the main video, can you go back and break the videos down into smaller videos, and then, so that they can digest the information easier? So we're going to give this a try, since, we having issues anyway with the videos. I am going to test it on this particular video because this motion is 45 pages long. And when I tell you the redundancy is about to drive me crazy, and then I really can tell by some of the comments on the videos that people are kind of like skipping over the video. They're not, they're losing their concentration on the video, and so they're in the comments asking questions that were clearly stated in the video. So let's try it this way. You guys let me know in the comments if you prefer to have these shorter videos, or do you want the big video, watch it in a premiere, and then you can come back and check for it? Do you like it when I do the longer videos and then in the description break the video down to what information is in what section? Or would you just prefer the shorter videos? Let me know in the comments, and then I'll see what the response is and how everybody responds to the shorter videos. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the government's consolidated motions in limine. It says that the United States of America, through its attorney John R. Lauch, United States Attorney of the Northern District of Illinois, respectfully moves the court in limine for entry of orders admitting or excluding certain evidence and argument at trial in the case as set forth. And so part one of this motion is that they want to protect people's identities, and this will apply to, people who might be witnesses, people, who are, a part of the case. It says that the government moves to protect the identities of the people named in the superseding indictment, who are expected to provide and or will be subject of sensitive personal testimony concerning illegal activity and the production and receipt of stuff by the defendant. Specifically, the government moves the court to 1, permit these individuals to testify using their first names only; 2, limit references to each of the people in court to their first name only; and 3, prevent public disclosure via cross-examination or otherwise of the individuals' respective addresses, full names of family members, or exact places of employment, if any. And so basically, if this sounds familiar to you guys, it's because we heard it in a prior case. So they're basically taking the lead from them heifers over there in New York and trying to apply those same rules. So don't be surprised if spectators are excluded from the courtroom, that they have an overflow room where only 8 spectators can come in. Don't be surprised if the media is, not allowed in the courtroom but have to go sit in another room. Don't be surprised if there is no call-in line for the media, because normally the media has a call-in line that they don't have to come to the courthouse. They can listen from anywhere to the court proceedings and then write their stories or do whatever. So don't be surprised if all of that's covered here in this document. So let me go back up for a second. And they have some notes at the bottom, and it says, 1, for purposes of efficiency and ease of reference, the government has filed its motions in limine in a single document. No single motion herein exceeds the 15-page limit as imposed by local rules. 2, the government also intends to raise at the pretrial conference additional courtroom procedures and logistics to accommodate these individuals, such as the use of separate entrances into the courthouse. I'm a little tie-tongue here tonight, and I actually was getting ready. Let me stick a pin here and go back, because I meant to tell you guys, an attorney by the name of Sam Kennedy has joined the case, and he's also in Miss Bonjean's office. And so he has signed on as an attorney, and he will be participating in the trial. Okay, so let me get back into this. So it says the superseding indictment charges the defendant with multiple counts of enticement and exploitation. The individuals are expected to testify in detail and or be the subject of highly sensitive and personal testimony concerning him and his illegal contact with them that occurred when they were of certain ages. Due to the sensitive nature of the testimony and evidence relevant to the charges, the government seeks entry of a proposed protective order limiting the disclosure of their last names and other identifying information in court. The limited protections requested by the government are necessary and appropriate to protect them and their safety and well-being, avoid harassment by the press and others, and prevent undue embarrassment and other adverse consequences such as retaliation by supporters, relocation, or loss of employment. Did I tell you they was about to come with the BS? Okay. So in addition, the government anticipates that Rishona's mother will testify about similar topics related to Rishona, including Kelly's long-term abuse. As a result, the government similarly moves to permit Rishona's mother, who has the same last name as Rishona, to testify using her first name only, which is it Valerie? I think Valerie. So yes, guys, you all heard that right. It looks like Valerie Landfair is going to be testifying. And so the passing of Rishona's dad doesn't seem to have made any difference. They are moving forward. Now the question is, what are they going to get up on that witness stand and state? And as we have pointed out so many times before, if it's true what Tasha K was saying, that Rishona has been putting money on his books and whatnot, how does that look that you have a witness for the government that's putting money on the books and still in communication with the defendant? To me, that seems like a conflict of interest and could pose a big problem down the road. At least I would think so. That would be something that Jennifer Bonjean would raise in her motions in limine that she should be filing soon. So what do you guys think about the fact that they're saying that Rishona's mom is going to testify as well and support whatever it is that her daughter is saying? It's going to be real interesting. The proposed protective order also contains a provision related to Lisa Van Allen, who would testify about, among other things, contact that she had with him and Rishona over the course of several years. The government seeks to preclude disclosure of Lisa Van Allen's address, names of family members, and place of employment. Lisa got a job, y'all. I didn't know the girl knew how to work. But anyway, at trial and during pre-trial and post-trial proceedings in this case. This case was charged in July 2019, and since that time, the case has garnered significant attention from local and national media sources. The same is true for the federal prosecution in New York. In the New York case, the court granted the government's motion to exclude references to the witnesses' names and other personal identifying information. In sum, a balancing of risks to the individuals against the defendant's interests supported permitting the requested limitations. The individuals testified about humiliating and explicit information, some of which took place years ago. The same protocols are warranted in this case. Several district courts have excluded mention of individuals' names at trial, citing the privacy interests of them. United States versus Campbell, a case that was heard in the Seventh Circuit in 2014, referencing individuals who testify at trial under their first names. United States versus Nichols, which was heard in the Northern District of Illinois, February 15, 2018. And then they talk about what that case was about. And let's see, there is a note at the bottom, and the note says, as noted in the government's motion in limine number 4 below, it is unknown at this time whether there will be sufficient room for spectators to be seated in the courtroom gallery for this trial. If there are spectators in the gallery, the government requests that the court admonish any courtroom sketch artists present that there shall be no sketches prepared of the individuals' faces while they are testifying. It also may be appropriate to post notice of this order on the courtroom door. And then it picks up where we left off. And they were talking about the United States versus Nichols, and talking about not having to use people's last names and requiring all documents disclosing their last name to be filed under seal. United States versus Gardner, which was heard in the Eastern District of Michigan in September of 2016. United States versus Thompson, Western District of New York in 2016. Given the anticipated and sensitive nature of evidence in the case, the government has a compelling interest in limiting identification. United States versus Paris, which was heard in Connecticut, October 24th, 2007, excluding mention of individuals' full last names at trial. So it just goes on and citing all these cases where they were allowed not to use somebody's last name. Oh my God, there are so many cases. So many cases, y'all. So maybe I can continue on with this, is that read more than one section at a time, because I'm not going through all these cases that they have listed here. So then they go on to say, for the reasons set forth, the government respectfully requests that the court grant the government motion and 1, permit the individuals and Rishona's mother to testify using their last names only, their first names only, 2, limit references to each of the individuals and Rishona's mother in court to their first name only. And 3, prevent public disclosure of addresses, full names of family members, or exact place of employment, if any. for the individuals and Rashona's mom and individual D. The government further, who we know as Lisa Van Allen, the government further requests that the court enter the attached protective order that sets forth the government's requested relief. The proposed protective order supplements the existing protective order in the case, which contains several provisions regarding the disclosure of discovery materials produced in this case, including a prohibition on including any information marked as sensitive in any public filing with the court. And then they have a note at the bottom, discovery related to individuals, including their full names and other identifying information, has been produced as sensitive material in this case. Okay, so that was part one. And it took me, so this video is about 15 minutes. So this is going to be a short video. I'm going to stop it here. And basically, as I stated before, they're doing what they did in New York, where they are trying to use pseudonyms and first names, and no other identifying information. The court reporters will, not the court reporters, but the court illustrators, and you guys have seen them in the other videos from New York, where we pretty much knew who the person was by the transcripts and the day that they were testifying, but the faces were just blank, flat, blurred out. And then the drawing showed like their hair, the clothing, and that type of thing. So that is what they are requesting in the first part of this motion in limine. And so I am going to go ahead and end this here and then come back with part two, which is a motion to preclude evidence on their history, okay? Their bedroom history. So I am going to end this here. Go ahead, leave your comments below, rate the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.